The 12th Sabbath Song. Remaining portions contain a description of God's chariot throne and its praise. The text then moves to an account of praise given by the angels, who are assembled military style in camps and units. The latter part of the song focuses on the ceremonial angelic worship taking place in the heavenly temple, a text belonging to the instructor, the song accompanying the sacrifice on the 12th Sabbath, sung on the 21st of the 3rd month. Praise the God of, exalt him. The glory in the tabernacle of the God of knowledge. The cherubim fall before him and bless him. As they arise, the quiet voice of God is heard, followed by a tumult of joyous praise. As they unfold their wings, God's quiet voice is heard again. The cherubim bless the image of the chariot throne that appears above the firmament. Then they joyously acclaim the splendor of the luminous firmament that spreads beneath his glorious seat. As the Ophanim advance, holy angels come and go. Between his chariot throne's glorious Ophanim appears something like an utterly holy spiritual fire. All around are what appear to be streams of fire, resembling electrum and shining handiwork, comprising wondrous colors embroidered together, pure and glorious. The spirits of the living beings move to and fro perpetually, following the glory of the wondrous chariots. A quiet voice of blessing accompanies the tumult of their movement, and they bless the Holy One each time they retrace their steps. When they rise up, they do so wondrously, and when they settle down, they stand still. The sound of joyous rejoicing falls silent, and the quiet blessing of God spreads through all the camps of the divine beings. The sound of praises, coming out of each of their divisions on both sides, and each of the mustered troops rejoices, one by one in order of rank, wondrous knowledge and insight, wondrous firmaments, in the essence of light, a splendor of every form of wondrous spirits, godlike beings, fearfully powerful, all their utterly wondrous acts by the power of the God of perpetual, exalting the warrior acts of the God of. From the 4 foundations of the wondrous firmament, they announce when they hear the sound of praise lifted up to God, blessing and praising the God of the godlike. A tumult, the highest heaven, the glorious King of the wondrous foundations, lifting up praise of the God of, and all their foundations, utterly holy, praise lifted up, their wings exalting over their heads, and they call out. When they lift up praise, when they stand still, his glorious royal thrones and the entire congregation of the ministers of wondrous, the wondrous godlike beings shall not be shaken forever, to remain steadfast in every task for the godlike beings in charge of his whole offering. His whole offering. The godlike beings praise him when first they take their positions, while all the spirits of the splendid firmaments continuously rejoice in his glory. A voice of blessing comes from all of his divisions, telling of his glorious firmaments, and his gates praise with a joyful noise. When the wise divine beings enter through glorious portals, and when the holy angels go forth to their realms, the portals through which they enter and the gates through which they exit declare the glory of the King, blessing and praising all the godlike spirits each time they exit or enter through the holy gates. None of them omits a precept or fails to acknowledge anything the King says. They neither run from the way nor reverence anything not a part of it. They consider themselves neither too exalted for his realm nor too humble for his commissions. He shall have no compassion when his furious, annihilating anger reigns. Yet he will not punish those from whom his glorious anger was removed. Awesome fear of the King of the godlike beings grips all of the godlike when he sends them forth on all of his commissions according to his veritable order, and they go. The 13th Sabbath Song. Portions of this selection concern the clothing worn by the ministering spirits, good favor, all their works, for the sacrifices of the holy ones, the smell of their offerings, and the smell of their drink offerings, according to the number of purity in a spirit of holiness, perpetual in splendor and majesty for the wondrous, and the form of the breastplates of beauty, spirits clothed with embroidery, a sort of woven handiwork, splendidly purified, dyed garments, their holy places. At their wondrous stations are spirits clothed with embroidery, a sort of woven handiwork, engraved with splendid figures. In the midst of what looks like glorious scarlet and colors of utterly holy spiritual light, the spirits take up their holy stand in the presence of the King, splendidly colored spirits surrounded by the appearance of whiteness. This latter glorious spiritual substance is like golden handiwork shimmering in the light. All their crafted garments are splendidly purified, crafted by the weaver's art. These spirits are the leaders of those who are wondrously clothed for service, the leaders of each and every holy kingdom belonging to the Holy King, who serve in all the exalted temples of his glorious realm. The leaders of the exaltation possess tongues of knowledge, so as to bless the God of knowledge for all his glorious works. In his insightful knowledge and glorious acumen, he has inscribed the ordinances governing their military units in all the holy inner sanctums, his glorious heights, his glory with, his recompense by judgments of, his compassion with the glorious honor of, his seasons and all the blessings of his peace, the glory of his works, and in the light of, and with the splendor of the praise given him in all the firmaments of, light and darkness, and the figures of, the glorious holiness of the King, for all his veritable works, for the angels of knowledge in all their kingdoms, his camp, holy exaltations for his glorious thrones and the footstool of his feet, and all his majestic chariots and his holy inner sanctums, and for the portals of the King's entrance, together with all the exits of the corners of its structure, and all the, for his glorious temples and the firmaments of